Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to all present. First, thank you, Asad, for reciting from the verses of the Quran. And my dear child, what you need to remember from the verses you have recited is that there is no Lord, there is no King, there is no God. These are titles reserved for Allah, who you worship and I worship. With the rest of the world, we deal as equals. And thank you again. Asad, incidentally, is my grandson, and I'm grateful to him that he took time out to be with us, to provide the recitation from the Quran to commence this particular event. I would like to thank Fizza next, but with a degree of caution for all that you have said. And I'll find it difficult living up to them, but true, the relationship and the association goes back 27 years, and mashallah, you look as young as you did 27 years ago. I am generally overwhelmed with, for the time and consideration shown by all present, and especially the panelists who have so chosen to commit to comment unabated. Some of your comments will provoke new thought in my mind, and some will touch my heart, and some slip below the belt. All told, the wholesomeness will firmly be established in addressing the author from proverbially head to toe. About the book put together, I find this an opportune moment to explain a few things that drove me to put pen to paper. First, the book is from the perspective of us, the people. It is what is being done to us, the people, and by the employees of us, the people, that constitute the government. We have the judiciary, we have the armed forces, we have the civil bureaucracy and the parliaments, all together in our employment to cater to our well-being, security and welfare. Now, this is primarily the basis on which all thoughts in the book have developed. From the economic periscope, all the taxes, direct and indirect, and all the borrowing we do put together are spent up to 82% on these institutions. This in effect implies that we as a nation are spending 82 paisa on a rupee to manage 18. Next, in 70 years plus, we have failed to change laws based on the colonial philosophy of lawmaking, and that effectively and in essence keeps us colonized to date. In a free country, the institutions of the state are servants and the people are masters. Here we do not know if we matter at all. We have no clue what are the plans of the government for the future, what is being done by them now, and then we also need to know, because the history of the government comprising these four identified institutions has been pathetic. We know the equation on the ground and must not live with new faces to herd our bandwagon, which in essence is an upset apple cart. That is why on the cover of the book, when I gave it to a professional to design it, he insisted on putting an upset apple cart. Finally, the structure of the state for governance is lopsided and in dire need to be scrapped for redefinition. The status quo is detrimental to us, the people who pay to retain it. Questioning the judiciary can be contemptuous. Questioning the armed forces can be an act of subversion, and questioning the civil bureaucracy can be interpreted as sedition. And finally, questioning the parliament can be near blasphemous because you will disturb someone's profit center and they will bump you off. This is evidence. This is the evidence, and the classic one, where servants are found defying the people to uphold the status quo. The status quo represents the salaries and perks of these few I have identified and nothing more. So there's nothing left on the table for development and for us, the people. Towards state management, and particularly in reversing the course of this ailment and dilemma, I chose to propose that we revert to our founding ideology. Before I proceed further, since there are people from the judiciary here, there are people from the armed forces here, and there are people from the civil bureaucracy here, I must place on record that I don't mean to be disrespectful, because if you are there in these jobs have to be professionally defined and improved upon. The army is too small. The civil bureaucracy is not trained. And the judiciary is based on laws which the Britishers have left for us. We don't need them anymore. In reverting to our founding ideology, because a nation without an ideology is doomed forever as a pushover, excuse the term. This is, of course, way above the recipe of any cleric or any branded Islam. Islam is that revolutionary milestone in the history of human civilization that liberated man from social regimentation, originating from any segment of society, be it a palace or a mosque. Islam represents the exercise of free will with reckoning on the day of judgment. The interim is for us to remain in search of the truth, to find belief which is way above religion. It has introduced permissive limits in law for optimizing social well-being and coexistence, and has attributed social strength and health to an impartial legal system. I do not intend to narrate the contents of the entire book in this speech, but primarily it is not a book of criticism coming from a defeated mindset. Instead, it is a book of solutions I have sought for us, the governed, to consider, and there are 4 basic reforms which should, in my opinion, serve as first aid to redeem and salvage the damaged ship. First, I want all land to belong to the federal body, to one federal body, and the people and institutions without exception pay for usage. This revenue stream must cater to the cost of governance. All other taxes must be consigned to the bin to precipitate production in this economy. I want 100% urbanization as a traded product, and based on that, I wish to see the demise of captive political constituencies. All other land outside of urban cities must be divided into industrial states, mining concessions, corporate farming, tourism sites, and essential services utility. Land has to be with corporate compliance to be productive, so a corporate Pakistan is a fair goal and as an economic destination. I also want that a standards ministry be created to regulate construction and processes at the front end of material technology. I want freedom of capital from alien influence altogether by linking the rupee to a tangible like gold. We cannot rationally and ideologically be dependent on an alien printed medium of exchange manifest as a commodity. And I'm sure the people who are going to be speaking on economics this evening will bear me out on this issue of a medium of exchange being represented as a commodity being traded. It is ridiculous, and it is against our ideology. It is even against common sense. All the above suggestions and those you will read, if you may, in the current chronicles will liberate us, the people, from captivity, subservience, suffocation, and the following of a slave culture. We, the people, do not want to be projected as cheap labor from a poor country. We do not wish to remain illiterate. We do not want to suffer in the hands of the 18th century feudal mindset rulers so asserted. We want true independence and not a facade that supports the salaries and perks of the ruling bunch. I therefore will leave my speech on the contents of the book right here for the rest to encourage you to buy the book and read it perhaps. I reiterate my extreme gratitude yet again to all here who have attended this book launch, particularly the members of and the staff of Live Rostrum News Agency, who put in a lot of effort under the leadership of Mr. Shehzad Amjad to make this event happen. My special word of gratitude goes for Mr. Ahmed Shah and under his able leadership, the Arts Council that accommodated this event. But before I leave this stand, let me recite two couplets for you and a saying from Imam Ali. The first couplet comes from Allama Iqbal, and that I found very interesting. And remember, he is the one who dreamed about Pakistan, who's our national philosopher. He says, अपनी दुनिया आप पैदा कर अगर जिंदों में है, सर्रे आदम है, ज़मीरे कुनफ़िका है ज़िंदगी. इसी ख्याल और इसी फ़लसफ़े को वुसअत देते हुए गालिब ने अपने रोमांटिसिज्म के साथ कहा कि भाई जिंदा हम हैं कि है रूशना से खल्क ए खिज़र, एक तुम चोर बने फिरते हो उम्र जावेदा के लिए. The saying from Imam Ali is, if you elevate yourself, you get elevated. If you degrade yourself, you will get degraded. So what I am offering here in the current chronicles is an option to elevate ourselves from the degradation we are lumbered with. Thank you. Shukran.